whether that is a mechanism to make it more difficult for competitors.
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rubbed